Tatum being that good but then before that, we talked about Booker being elite. Who would you take there, Tatum or Booker?
Tatum. I said that prior too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not even
okay.
That's not a debate.
Curious.
To me.
But
I think Tatum's length and what he does defensively is just another level compared.
Big boy mentality here as I picked this one. I 1,000% picked this one. And I said that the Sun and the Mavs would go into Phoenix and get the job done. Now, look, Kyle crushed it on his picks, okay? Yep. But I, again, decided to go beyond Kyle here and say, you know what? I got this feeling. Nobody's picked anybody off on the road. Luka's playing all world right now, and when he's not, they're still in games. So if Luka can just go out there and just play his normal game, I think they have a good goddamn shot of taking this one in Phoenix. And look, the rest is history. Look at this final score. Like 123.
It was over at halftime.
90. It was
bad at halftime.
Luka was tied with the Suns.
I'm fucking pissed off because I actually made
it was over at halftime,
but I didn't put the meme in. What? Luka and Booker have been beefing hard this whole series. There was a point in the series where I brought it up last week when Booker flopped and he laid down on the court. You brought it up this morning, but this was from last week. And he laid down, he kind of peeked up at the camera and he said that was the Luka special. And he was making fun of Luka for his flopping. Since that moment, I think Devin Booker has 30 points, and this is through 2 games, and Luka has like 78 or something like that. And the meme when they were down 30 and they had the score underneath them and they were standing at the free throw line next to each other, and Booker was just pissed off. You could see it in his face, and Luka looking up at him, smiling like, "What now, bro?" But only in Luka's voice, Luka's accent.
But yeah,
they hate each other.
Those
two guys don't like each other, and that's good for basketball.
When Luka left the game, Luka only finished the game at like 35.
Not only 35, but yeah, 35
you know what I mean? Yeah, he had 27 in the first half.
Brunson had 24. This is a complete team effort. The Suns just forgot. Like, where do we stand with Chris Paul right now? Like, Chris Paul, the topic of conversation on a lot of networks this morning was that Chris Paul, if this wasn't it, if this was the first seed, runaway, regular season champs, have you,
There's a couple things.
What do we say about Chris Paul's odds of winning a title ever?
They went down drastically right now, because we could talk about a little bit of what might be happening behind closed doors in Phoenix. DeAndre Ayton only played 17 minutes yesterday. And when Monty Williams was asked about it post-game, he said there's an internal problem, but he wouldn't speak on what it was. I know Ayton is probably looking to get a big contract soon. To me, I think that he's the sum of all parts, and that's why he's playing as well as he has for this team. I don't think Ayton is the guy. I don't think Ayton is the guy that's ever going to be all NBA. I don't think he's going to be worth that major deal that the Suns will have to pay to keep him around. I could see Ayton on his way out. That could help if they're able to use that money and bring in a different guy. But I don't know, man. The Suns, you might even see Booker looking to leave soon. Because typically, if you look at the course of
down to the Garden,
if you look at the course of Chris Paul's career, teammates don't typically like playing with him.
Oh, listen,
we're talking about the Clippers situation.
Right,
you could talk about the Houston situation where Harden wanted him out. Now we could decide who's right or wrong there. We got a little bit of bot action.
Yeah, little botskis. I got you.
You got to tip your hat to Luka. Devin Booker, they had real beef. That's good for basketball. Ayton might be on his way out of town, and if he's not, there's some real turmoil. Regardless, Chris Paul is another year older. He managed to stay healthy throughout the playoffs, but that really didn't matter. Booker's injury, maybe that had a little bit to do with the way Phoenix played down the stretch. He may be more banged up than we thought. But forget about Phoenix. The Mavs did a great job. Let's talk about Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd, I watched this video this morning of how aggressive he is when he's coaching on the sidelines. Now, look, there's a lot of coaches out there that are prehistoric. I'm sure Popovich isn't out there. And look, I know he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, but I'm sure Popovich isn't out there doing what Jason Kidd did. If you want to go look at my Twitter at Dave Sturch, I retweeted this. Jason Kidd is literally a sixth man right now. He was on he's screaming at his guys on every single move they should be making on defense. An unbelievable job. To me, it's a different story. Like Steve Nash as the coach of the Brooklyn Nets with a bunch of those divas and shit like that, that's hard to do and hard to coach. But when you bring Jason Kidd in here with one solid MVP type player like Luka Doncic, and then you have the rest of these role players, that's an easier team to coach, and he really stepped it up.
Jason
Kidd
did a hell of a job. We had some disparaging things, maybe a little bit. We maybe raised the question of whether the comments that Jason Kidd made after game 1 and game 2, talking like Luka's the only guy that did anything, we need other guys to step up. We thought maybe I think it was you, Rod,
Yeah,
that brought the
for
question.
sure.
Him calling out his players publicly. Do you think that's a good look? Well, they responded, and the players must really respect Kidd because it's yes, sir, no, sir.
Yes,
You
sir,
heard
no,
the-
sir.
The locker
All
room
in the
talk.
locker room. Yep.
Jason Kidd's got a good, firm grasp on that team and that locker room, and they're playing well for him. I can't wait to see the Western Conference Finals now because Kyle was even saying if Dallas could steal a game in Golden State, they're a real tough team to beat. at
Hell
home.
yeah.
And
Hell
that's
yeah.
a winnable series for them. I think Golden State takes it, but I also thought Phoenix was going to walk through Dallas too. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful.
We'll
what
make
you
our-
say
If
here.
you're the Phoenix Suns now, right?
Mhm.
You have 18 years of CP3, right, in the league. Now, we know what's going on with the Dayton situation. Now, do you sit down Booker and you kind of be like,
What are you
trying to do here? Do we Chris Paul's on his way out. We all know that, but he said he's going to play another year is what he said yesterday.
And he's not going anywhere unless they
No,
trade
he's
him.
not going anywhere unless he's traded. Yes. Or do we try to run it back with Aiden and we try to get you another piece? Or do we get rid of Aiden and try to get another piece and you get you one more year with CP3?
Interesting. So
What do you do?
Sun's got a lot of questions all of a sudden. You know, it's almost like, do we
If only
do
they
we
could
do we
trade
take old
Ayton
Yeller
for
in the back?
Luka. You think they could get rid of they could run back the draft and take Luka instead of Ayton?
Man, I bet they wish they
I
did.
think they would probably do that. I think they would probably do that. I'm not sure.
I mean, Luka
but-
went out there and was like, maybe Luka was mad they didn't take him.
He did the Jordan man. I took that personally. You know,
He
and he
might-
went
he
out
might
there and
have.
did his
I
thing.
mean, if you say might have been, he definitely was.
Oh,
I mean, we're
100%.
talking about
These guys
a
don't
competitor.
forget.
You can't forget that type
They
of
don't
shit.
forget that guy. I know guys that have their like draft pick number like tattooed on their body.
Draymond Green can name every player drafted before him, and he was drafted like late second round. He can name every player drafted before him.
Oh,